And we're back yet again.
Hello.
Mario Maker.
Hello.
What up?
We're on Luigi's Hungry Horse. Is that correct?
It is.
20 people played, 0% finished.
Horse wants to eat grass. Go underground to defeat unsafe pesticides by cereal soup.
I like it.
So, ladies and gentlemen, 3, 2, 1, go. Whoever finishes it first gets the first clear, ladies and gentlemen.
Wow.
The rare
a
FC.
guaranteed world record.
Reach the goal after defeating 1 Monty Mole. That's fair. That's a fair.
So reach the goal after defeating all 1 Monty Mole.
All one.
You think we gotta find him?
He's probably, I'm going to go ahead and take a guess, underground.
Ooh. Mathis with the deep lore.
I'm just, yeah, everything has some deep lore if you try hard enough. Oh, this looks
Oh. Okay.
interesting.
Oh my God. This is not, they've lied to you, Daniel. This is not a 5 to 10% clear rate level.
There's, yeah.
That first obstacle is a nightmare.
Woo, that's rough.
I'm up for it because I feel no fear, but
It'd be nice to have a checkpoint, like just right before you do it, or, you know?
So you just
alternatively, maybe
run.
don't make you run across the big horse sculpture to get into the pipe at the start of it.
But then how will you know the theme?
Or, I guess the flip side is, would you want one of the horse legs to be raised?
That would work, yeah. If you could
Right.
run through the undercarriage.
But then would
I
you
like
know
how
it's a horse?
Its legs are pipes. Just go into its leg, it would be easier.
Or just like put the pipe at the start, and then at the end have you run past the horse.
Yeah, there you go.
It's called game design, sweetheart.
Look
Or just dispose of the whole horse part to begin with, you know?
So I have a little brother biological thing to bring up.
yeah, what?
Should we be talking about this?
No, I mean it's meant for a biological discussion, not for like a Minkus discussion.
Okay.
So I guess there was like a big. So when you go on Twitter, like you look at, I go to explore and it'll show me like curated tweets like Detroit Pistons, you know, Call of Duty, whatever, Big
Google
Brother.
Deep learning, yeah.
Yeah, so there was something, and I always get fed Twitch streamer stuff.
Oh, okay.
And so there was like, I guess a big Twitch
Oh no.
streamer
Is
guy.
this,
I'm afraid.
What? No.
is this sell your bed?
No. It's not sell your bed, but I do want to talk about that with you guys. This was like a month ago. It's like there's a big, I guess like Twitch streamer got married or something, and it showed up there, and it showed someone on a horse that was, you could say, excited.
Oh, yeah,
And-
you're talking about Sacriel's wedding.
Yeah, whatever. But like, and I didn't like.
that was that
I've never
picture's
seen
fucking
that
great.
before. Like, I didn't know that that's how. It's
You never
not.
heard the saying "hung like a horse," Dan?
Well, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about like there's like
What are you talking about?
there's like
then?
an
I'm confused.
envelope, and then there's the extension. I didn't know about the envelope.
Of all people, I would not have expected you to bring this up.
No, I'm asking from a biological standpoint. Like, it's not like.
Well, you're the biology major, Ryan. Take it away.
It's
I don't
not
know.
consistent with like humans.
I've never seen a horse aroused, to be honest. So
Neither have I.
Well, you have now, right?
Right, but unintentionally from a wedding
Well, I'm
photo.
not trying to say it's like not a character judgment. I'm just saying I got no insight.
I just see Dan actively deleting all his.
Oh my God.
history.
Dude, I made it through the very first section of the level.
I've only which part? Just the cannon part? Like the bullet bill part, or the
Yeah.
whole thing?
I made it through the section with the bullet bills.
I keep dying at the last bullet bill. I bounced just too high.
Yeah, again, Dan, you were lied to.
Yeah, so just to get more context, not about that, is that there's a Google form where people submit their levels and they give it the title and the clear rate. And this person called this what, 5 to 10% clear rate?
Yeah, is a little
5 to 10% when nobody's cleared it. So I was just right out of there.
I'm gonna see. Previously, I'd operated under the assumption that everybody is a bad actor and they're trying to trick us. What I think happens way more often is people are just like, "Well, I beat it in 10 tries," so probably roughly around a 10% clear rate. You're like, nah, dude.
It's not how it works.
You built the level and practiced it 500 times when you were making it.
Oh God. These bullet bills.
All right, so to progress the conversation.
Do you really want to?
No. I'm saying Ryan talked about sell your bed.
I heard passively about somebody who tweeted about if you're not making enough money, do dumb shit so you can keep streaming.
His central premise was if you don't have enough money to get a good setup to start streaming, you know, you should. I mean, his premise is bad to begin with, in my opinion.
What's his premise? Give us his premise.
His premise is, you know, if you really want to make your dream of being a streamer happen, but you're like broke right now, sell whatever, grind whatever you have to grind to get there. You know, if you have to sell your bed, if you have to, you know, feed yourself garbage food that will lead to you being like malnourished and sick, then like do it. Like don't let anything get in the way of your dream, which I think is a bad premise to begin with.
100%.
And it is the reason I think it's a bad premise, because people might not be with me on that one, because it's kind of common advice, is whenever that comes from someone that's successful, it makes it seem like the only reason they're successful is because they sacrificed more than everybody else. There's a lot of people out there on Twitch and YouTube who sacrificed a lot and got like nowhere.
Yeah.
I would love to hear how they feel about, you know.
That's probably a much more common story.
Yeah, how they feel about selling their bed.
Yeah.
But anyway, so yeah, his premise was, you know, sell your bed, sleep on a $10 air mattress, stop ordering Uber Eats and eat only ramen and Chef Boyardee. And then number 3 was my favorite. Number 3 was don't buy skins. And I was like, you're giving adult financial advice? Number 3 is like, don't buy skins? But
and then what happens to those people who sold everything and then a year later they're still nowhere?
yeah.
Now you're sleeping on a $10 air mattress, eating
sell your
ramen
air
noodles. Yeah, exactly.
But like
sleeping bag, you idiot.
I don't feel bad at all for dunking on it, because I think it's horrible advice, and he has a lot of like young followers who honestly need more of a reality check than he's apparently willing to give them. Oh God, I made it. But you know, I hate when people give advice that doesn't factor in the role that like luck and timing play. Because like the reason that this guy's famous, I'm not saying he doesn't have talent, but he happened to be like right place, right time, good at Fortnite when Fortnite became the most popular game ever made. If he was born 5 years later, it would have been a much harder road for him. If he was born 5 years earlier, maybe he wouldn't have the time to dedicate to full-time streaming, because he'd have another career and like people that relied on him to make a steady income, you know?
Yeah.
Well, let me play devil's advocate here.
Time, by the way.
Ooh.
Dude, I can't get past walk over thwomps now.
Take the boot with you and go fast forehead.
But do the thwomps fall fast enough where I can run? Because I tried.
You can't run. You gotta like bait them with a jump, I think.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. So devil's advocate here. I think his delivery is poor, the messaging, but I think some of the messages okay, like don't buy dumb stuff.
Yes.
Lower your overhead, but also mine would be get a job and then do this in your free time.
Yeah,
you know, like,
and that is part of where he lost me as well, when he was like, obviously you can get a job, but it's gonna cut down on your time to make content. And I'm like,
no, you could work a full-time or part-time job and have plenty of time to make content. Just don't watch 100 episodes of Billions and watch 18 other YouTubers. You know what I mean? Like, I think there's enough time in the day.
Yeah, I mean, like, Dan, you're a good example of time management. You got another profession, and then like 2 children. So I'm just like, you know, it's the same. Like sometimes people have talked up my work ethic, and I'm like, I think my work ethic is like, it's pretty good. Don't get me wrong, but like, it's also just not that hard.
I'd say you're probably in the top 3% of work ethic.
I don't.
Yeah. If you're not recording, you're streaming. If you're not streaming, you're streaming with Kate. You know, like you're always.
I do. I mean, I work a lot, but I take time off as well. Like I have like dedicated, like a dedicated day off, which a lot of streamers don't have, and you know, particular like YouTubers, I do think a lot of them are just a little lazy. But you know, it's a rude thing to say, but it's also my honest opinion. But streamers, I'm like, they're maybe like lazy in a different way, but they can work like 13-hour days, 6 days a week.
Oh yeah.
And then like on the 7th day, they're like, sorry, I can't stream today. I'm really sick.
There's no checkpoints in this level?
No, it's like a one screen bop. I'll tell you, the dude, he has a bad message because he had to post like a 2-minute clarification video where he went, when I said sell your bed, obviously I don't literally mean take your bed and sell it. I mean, sell your things. And you're like, okay, well, it's just, he's young. I don't bear much of a grudge, but he's obviously like, nice. He's obviously like 18, 19, 20, and he grinded and got famous and thinks that makes him an authority on how to do it. But take it from the people with the the silver hairs to prove it. There's a huge element of luck, and there's ebbs and flows in the industry. Fortnite's huge now. You can afford a Lamborghini. Maybe it'll be huge in 2022. Maybe people will be like, hey, remember when that game was big? And then maybe in 2025, people will be like, yo, let's go back and start a Fortnite renaissance,
It's like Minecraft right now.
It's like, that's exactly what I'm getting at, yeah.
Well, I think the other thing too that helps, at least from my perspective, is that like I'm aligned. Like I feel like my actions and my work maps my goal, where I'm not trying to, be the largest on Twitch. I'm trying to be able to do this and have fun and, run it as a business. But, I don't know. I feel like you just have to find out what makes you happy. Like maybe that is what you want to do. Maybe you want to stream 1 day a week, but whatever it is, I feel like a lot of people default to being, hey, I want to be the next whatever, ninja.
That's true.
Where it's like, maybe you'd be happy being the next yourself, And
sometimes if that's what you get, what gets you into it, like sometimes that's a fine motivation. As long as you understand, like at some point, like, okay, I can't be ninja because I'm not ninja, I'm me. But a lot of people do get into the streaming and YouTubing because they want to be the next X person. And that's your motivation. That's your motivation. Just understand that motivation will only get you so far.
But I think there's a lot of like area between ninja and the bottom where like you can make a good life for yourself if that's your primary goal, or do it full time as long as everything else matches. You know what I mean? Like I think like full time isn't 7 figures for everyone. You know what I mean? Like I think it's becoming more viable to have a realistic cross section somewhere in between where you can make
I agree.
a good
100%.
living where you don't have to do that.
This is my last try on this level, by the way.
Okay. I mean, I've beaten it twice and I'm getting sick of it.
I got to the conveyor belt part and I jumped and hit the goddamn spot.
That's pretty much the end.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, that's why I'm gonna give it my one last go.
I'm surprised I MLG'd it once I got through the bullets, but Ryan, you're gonna be, if Mathis beats this, whether he beats it or not, we may have to eat some words on this one.
On the 5 to 10% clear rate?
Yes.
All right, I'm done with this thing.
Hold on, I'm going for the speed run.
You're going for one? All right, then screw it. I'm going again then.
I just think like I don't know, like I've done well for myself, and people, they always look for like something to attribute your success to, and they think like I'm insulting myself when I'm like, actually, like luck and timing played like a huge luck and timing played like a huge role in my ability to get big, when I got big. Like basically I was born at a time when I was an adult, when almost nobody was doing this. As a result, I got in when it was like not that saturated. So there's like step 1, and then step 2 is like, I played Isaac when it came out because I like Super Meat Boy. Nobody expected that game to blow up, and now we're here like 8 years later, and people are like, I still love Isaac. I hitched my wagon to a horse that went way further than expected. And if, maybe instead of playing Isaac that day, I play like, Trine or something like that. That one little change, could have had like a huge, like an order of magnitude on my ability to be successful.
I would push back. I mean, I agree to an extent, but I push back.
Dan will always push back.
Yeah, Cole's like, there's inherent talent, and you've had at bats, right? So it wasn't like, hey, my first YouTube video was Isaac. let me ask you, how many videos did you make before your first Isaac video?
Yeah, it's probably like a few hundred at least.
Yeah, so it's not what like you. It's not like you fell into like a golden pile of coins. You had
No,
some
I mean, I
at-bats.
agree, but at the same time, I think like anyone that is successful in this industry has had an element of luck and timing.
Yeah,
I definitely agree. Like, a lot of people have gotten the, a and then squandered it for a variety of different reasons. Work ethic, or can't control what comes out of their own mouth. But I attribute a lot of it to luck. There's like right place, right time, and then probably right personality as well. But
yeah, for sure.
I don't know. I just want to have like lunch with this kid, and he can pay for it because he's got triple my
apparently super rich.
And I'm like, I just want to be like, you recognize, right, that because you were like 17 or 18 when Fortnite Battle Royale came out, and you were awesome at it, and you grinded. That's how you made it happen. Like if you were 25 and that opportunity hadn't struck, when it did, you might have been working at a bank with like maybe a kid, maybe a wife. You can't just be like, honey, I'm going to quit my job at the bank to try to grind Fortnite full time. Like where you're at, that place in time is very important. Like I was able to grind hard on YouTube basically because of when I was born. If I'd been born like 2 years earlier, I would have been too busy in college. If I'd been born 2 years later, maybe I would have been too set into like a different career path. But it caught me, like in my gap year. So I was able to be like, sure, the timing's right. Let me give this a year while I'm still flexible and see if it works out.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like that's an element of that for all of our stories in some way or another. I mean, the only reason I was able to dive into YouTube so hard is because like I had stuff going on in my life that had caused me to have to leave college for a bit, and it opened up a whole lot of time. And I was like, all right, well, I guess I'm gonna do YouTube videos because I enjoy watching it and I can do it. And I did it for like a year and a half before I had my first quote unquote successful video.
Zomboid.
Yep, Zomboid. Zomboid was my ticket.
But
that game is still my ticket. Like that game is, it's like your Isaac to a much smaller scale, obviously. But for my channel, like that's kind of what I've hitched my wagon to, and the game still gets updated, and it's about to have its biggest update, and I'm not gonna stop playing now because that's just part of it.
But here's my thing. I agree. I think there's a
Do we want to start Gheesling Valley, by the way?
I'm good. Are you guys loaded?
Okay, we got 3, 2, 1. Good luck.
I agree. I think there's a percentage of it that's luck or timing. I prefer to call it timing. But I also think you guys are both persistent enough where you would have had more at bats where, say, for example, Ryan, maybe it wasn't Isaac, but I still think you probably, and we never know because there's no simulation, but you'd probably be pretty close to still being full-time on a large scale if you stuck with it. That's my opinion.
I mean, I think it's possible, but even like if Isaac hadn't come out when it did, maybe it comes out like 6 months later, I might have signed on to like teach for a second year in Korea instead of like having it be in kind of like a suitable gap for myself. And then maybe I decide like, hey, I'm too stressed out from work. It's not worth, spending all this time being stressed out on the internet as well. Like, but who knows is the other thing.
Yeah.
You're right. There's no simulation.
Yeah. Can't figure it out.
But, I don't know. What it comes down to me is I think that it's like the spirit of the advice is bad, in my opinion. I don't think that most people who don't make it on Twitch don't make it due to lack of effort. I think it's hard. Like, there's so many people trying to do it, for one. And, like, again, back when I started, I got lucky I had a YouTube following that I could pull over and just be like, hey, can you, like, watch my stream? And then not that many people had discovered streaming at that point. Again, like, the story of my career is, like, persistence plus being, like, in the first 10% of people that got on a platform.
I'm with you.
Basically.
But you also had the insight to do that. You know what I'm saying?
No, I agree.
Where, and then, I don't want to call it anything out indirectly, but like I'll see some people on Twitch and be like, hey, it's my 900th straight day of streaming.
Yeah.
And it's like, I saw that person at 300 and nothing has changed. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So at some point,
I see what you're saying.
Where it's like, for you, you're like, hey, what if you had the insight to go to Twitch or change something up? You know what I mean? It's not like the only thing on your channel isn't Isaac.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's if I could give myself a lot of credit for one thing, it is that, you know, years ago, I recognized that there's going to be a problem. Like one day, Isaac's not going to be there, and we don't know what day that'll be. So I worked hard to diversify, whereas I think what has happened, particularly on Twitch, is a lot of streamers are like, you know, I got big for like League. And then, you know, League has ebbs and flows. Maybe they got like 25,000 concurrent viewers 3 years ago, and now they're getting like 1,000. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but you know, I tried to recognize it. Yeah, I tried to recognize that was coming, you know, downstream and do something about it. And I'm honestly like grateful, but also thankful, because I'm like, now people are like, please stop playing Isaac, and I'm like, no. So, which is the way I want it to be, I think, because people are desperate for other stuff. But anyway, I don't know. You know, I mean, I do think, to echo what Dan was saying early, I think a lot of people do just waste like more time than they realize.
Oh, for sure.
But dude, this Gheesling Valley's tough.
You guys get to checkpoint?
Yeah.
Okay. One checkpoint, yeah.
What's
like, your whole life should not be about, you know, grinding to get big on YouTube and Twitch. But I do think that, you know, I would rather just ask you guys, like, if you took an audit, if you took out just work-related stuff, how much free time do you have on like the average Monday to Friday?
I don't think I have any when I go to bed.
That doesn't seem. You don't work 16 hours a day.
No, he's saying, so you're basically saying if you don't work. Wait, rephrase the question. I think I got confused.
Because here's the thing, you know, like all-time streaming obviously counts, and time recording obviously counts. Time setting videos counts. You know, if you're talking to collaborators about working and stuff like that, you're just setting up like a project to be done. But like, I don't count
their OBS because their capture doesn't work.
Yeah, exactly, for like an hour.
I mean, I would count that. I wouldn't count, you know, like for me, I wouldn't count going to the gym. That's stuff, I take that out of my free time to go to the gym. That's obvious. It's something that needs to be done, but it's not occupational.
So your question is, how much free time do we have?
Yeah, how much time how much time do you waste every day?
Waste every day.
I probably waste like an hour a day. Well, actually, that's not true, because I don't consider the time in the gym wasted. So I probably have like...
You're saying like mindless time.
Well, I just mean, I guess, time that's like yours to do with what you will.
That's my last 2 hours of every night.
That's what I have like probably 2 to 3 hours, and I spend a lot of that just like, I don't know, like doing the dishes and cleaning the house, doing laundry, stuff like that.
Yeah, I think like I'll quote unquote be done working around like 11, and then from 12 to 1, like 11 to 1 is my time just doing either stuff that I need to get done or just having dinner and just taking a breath if I was like, you know, if the day was particularly long.
Yeah, I'd say I'm probably around an hour where there's like, and that's, to me, the hour is like, that's what gets me. Cause like, oh man, like I just burned this hour.
Yeah.
And it's like, yo, I could have done 2 Mario videos in that time and gotten 5 days ahead, you know?
Yeah, I've had that attitude before.
Yeah.
Now though, after like recording and streaming all day, like my voice just gives out. Like I just start to get like hoarse and crackly, and I'm like, even if I wanted to record more, I probably shouldn't. You know, I need that recovery time. But I also spend a lot of time shouting at my colleagues.
But I mean, one of the huge things that help me is like, you talk about like scheduled off time. Like I know there's like X amount of hours in the day. I'm like, hey, from here to here, like my phone's off and I'm with the family and I'm like truly there. I'm not like, you know, checking Reddit or whatever, which that's really helped because then you're focused on that time. And then when that time's over, you're like, okay, now it's time to change gears. Versus like not really having a schedule to me is like, yo, how do you get through Blue Snake
I agree
Alley?
with you 100%. Yo, you just gotta jump on the snake.
Forehead.
Unfortunately, forehead. Yeah. But like, no, I think that's important. It's like I work a lot, but I do see some YouTubers who are like, I work like an 80-hour work week. And I'm like, no, you don't. That's just, that's bad time management. If you put like a video or 2 up a day, even if it's like heavily edited, I'm like, well, it depends on how heavily edited. Oh, he was right there.
How far after the Blue Snake is it?
It's like right after.
Okay.
You got a little obstacle course, but it's not bad. I liked it.
It's a good level.
Yeah.
You do need to have ball players.
It's true.
You guys may want to go for the world record because I probably have like 6 more attempts.
Okay.
Did I download it?
Mathis, let me ask you this, because I feel like you took a specific path because with you know, highly edited YouTube stuff and your
I took a specific path because I killed my YouTube channel 3 years ago.
no, but I'm saying I was gonna ask you what's your take on Twitch and how it fits into your lack of a better term portfolio.
For me specifically,
Yeah.
Twitch is not a priority, but that's only because I have other priorities that are more important right now, like the podcast, like that kind of thing. I mean, when I stream for Twitch, I try to stream. I typically try to stream a couple times a week if I can. But yeah, it's a back end priority. But that's just because my career spun off in a different direction.
Yeah.
And who knows? I mean, I still do Twitch. I still have a presence. And if I need to pivot, I can hard pivot. But I kind of keep it just a little bit on the outskirts of my core priorities.
Yeah, so that's my question is like where like in terms of your it's like a ancillary thing for you.
Yeah. Correct.
And that was that a conscious decision, or that was just, hey, I don't have time to do everything?
It was a conscious decision because Chilluminati ended up doing well, and it demanded more of my time.
Got it.
And I can't give everything 100% because I don't have that kind of time.
I'm so dumb. I had the world run.
Because streaming for you, Dan, has kind of become your main priority, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's like my thing is that it's been really important for the growth of the stream, and also kind of like the Ryan Gary prophecy where it's like, hey, you want to keep multiple things going. I don't ever want to be beholden to one platform.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Because it'll change. Like it'll like something in the next 5 years I think will change, and you just, I don't know. I just, when Twitch, like, because Twitch, like if I go hours spent to, I guess, effectiveness or financial, it's not even close Twitch to YouTube, but the time I spend on both are not like the percentage breakdown you would think. Like it's like 40-60, you know?
Yeah, no, I believe that.
Yeah.
But it's not because of finances, it's because I just feel like importance on doing that, you know?
You just gotta kind of feel the temperature of the water and kind of move with it. That's, I mean, yeah, you're not wrong. Like, think about everybody's eggs were all in the YouTube basket not even 5 years ago, and then Adpocalypse happened, and everybody fucking like set their buildings on fire and ran around screaming. And that's just when
but nobody changed their content at all. They just spend all day tweeting about how much YouTube screwed up.
it's true. People don't adapt.
But I think one thing we haven't talked about, and you know, it's not really our business, but it's still, I don't think Ryan, you don't like talking about stuff like the whole mixer thing. Like, I know we didn't talk about it.
It doesn't bother me. No.
Okay. But like, what do you do? What was your guys' take on that?
Well, I see the Mixer Twitch stuff as like the exact same as Steam Epic. So in order to not be a hypocrite, I'm like, dude, if they're gonna pay for streamers to be exclusive, how else do you want a streaming platform to compete? I guess.
Does everybody in this world, and I'm not talking about YouTube, but just the audience, have like the memory of a 5-year-old? We had this same conversation when YouTube jumped into streaming and they bought all the major esports championship tournaments for that year to stream exclusively on the YouTube gaming streaming platform. And people were throwing up their arms like, how come YouTube is spending money and stealing? It was like the Call of Duty one, League of Legends one was going to be was exclusively on the YouTube streaming platform. I think it was like 2015 probably.
And I didn't even know that.
Yeah, like they threw money at it in that time, and then what happened to YouTube gaming? They stopped and it flopped and it crashed because the YouTube didn't kind of keep up with it. I'm not saying that's going to happen to Mixer, but that's just what companies do. I don't really care. Like, if my opinion on it is like, you know, is business good for Ninja, good for Mixer. I don't know, dude. Like so many streamers, in my opinion, they feel like they need to comment on like every piece of news that happens, and I'm like, you don't. Like, Ninja leaving for Mixer, the only thing you could argue is that like in years to come it might have like a knock-on effect, but I don't you don't think Mixer handed him a hunk of cash?
I believe that they do, but like that's none of my business. Like,
what's a knock-on effect? What does that mean?
You know, like maybe Ninja is responsible for 30% of the viewers on Twitch, so for him leaving for Mixer, it might start like it might be the catalyst to start, you know, like a mass exodus or something like that. But I mean, I don't know. I certainly don't think that's been the case at all. I don't care about like the business side of this industry essentially at all.
Why is that?
I just stay in my lane and like, you know, I'm not in the business to make moves. I'm in the business to entertain and, you know, provide for myself and my family as well. But
well, yeah, I'm with you. I don't give a shit that he went to Mixer. I really don't. Like, who cares?
like I saw, this is tangential, but there's this game is a really arty game. And this week they announced Epic exclusivity. It's called Manifold Garden. And the dev, you know, was doing what I consider like a really mature thing. You know, there was a thread about his game going Epic exclusive on Steam, or sorry, r/Steam. So, you know, the comments were like pretty nasty, but he was responding to every single one of them in like a mature fashion and just getting crapped on for it. But like I saw one person say like, all I can say is, you know, I would rather die than live with compromised values, but it appears that we're not the same type of person. So, like, that's what I think of, like, comments like that when I think of, like, you know, I would never abandon Twitch for Mixer. I would never leave Mixer for Twitch. But I'm like,
see,
you sound like that, dude.
He gets sun when he only goes to PAX.
It's just so needlessly insulting, Mathis.
No, it's a pretend man that I don't know what it actually looks like. I'm not really all that.
That is how I feel.
And if your sentence is I'd rather die when it comes to fucking the Epic Store, dude, if you're insulted by that, you got some problems.
I will say, just to, you know, not get raked over the coals myself, there were people in the comments that were like, hey, I understand why you would do this because you're making a lot of money by going to Epic that wouldn't be guaranteed if you were out on Steam. But I have philosophical differences with the store, so I won't be paying attention.
See, that's a fair way to present it because that's a mature way to represent how you feel. And that's cool. Like when I did Rebel Galaxy on the channel for a few episodes, people were freaking out because there's Epic Games exclusive. I'm like, I just want to show you guys like a cool freaking game. Like, relax.
Yeah.
But people get so up in arms about it, and they're like, they're talking about how it's like it's like malware or something along those lines. So I had to like Google where they were getting this, and there's a bunch of articles like, no, Epic Games is not malware, no matter what people tell you, because it's not. It's just lacking a lot of what Steam has, and it may not be the super secure comparatively, but
like even this, I just don't care.
Exactly. Like, I'm like, I don't care.
I know it sounds rude, but I'm just like, you know. So, okay, I talked about this on Twitter about like the Pokemon Sword and Shield controversy. I'm like, I can get why you would be mad. What I don't understand, and
real quick, what's the controversy in like
the controversy is they're not putting every Pokemon into the game or giving you a way to transfer every Pokemon into the game. And then they said it was because they had to make high quality animations for all the Pokemon, but instead they're reusing animations from earlier games.
Okay.
So you can understand why, if you're a lifelong fan of Pokemon with a Pikachu avatar on Twitter and a name like, you know, Pokemon Trainer Timmy or something like that, you would be like, Game Freak is betraying me. I get that. What I don't get is like the controversy started like 4 months ago. And you're still dedicating your social media presence and a lot of your time, like of the one life that you get on planet Earth, to being big mad about this decision online. Like why not just be like, you know, they screwed us on this one. I'm gonna not talk about or play Pokemon, and I'm gonna move on to something more positive. Or alternatively, hey, you know, I'll give them a chance and I'll reconvene and see how I feel when it's out. But instead, it's like an addiction to anger online.
Yeah, that's a really great way to put it. It really does feel like an addiction to anger.
Well, do something with that anger and hit the like button on each of our videos, and then you'll feel better, maybe. But this was a good one, guys.
Yeah, we'll see you next time.
Goodbye.
See ya.